Okay, woohoo! I am pumped. Today is the day you have worked your butts off this week, tackling your old programming. You have figured out how it shows up in your life, how it's pushed you away from your true self, and how it's draining your cup behind the scenes by making you go against your inner wisdom. Then yesterday, you learned to set energetically aligned boundaries based on your unique values. Your unique desires. And so yesterday, you took back your power to choose. And you are exercising that power by showing up today. Yes, you. So in terms of energy, you have learned how to seal the leaks in your cup. That's addressing the old programming. You have learned how to get very picky about where you're pouring from your cup by setting boundaries in alignment with your personal values. And now today, we are going to learn how to fill our own cups. Woo-hoo, do you want that? Do you want to be able to pour energy into your cup so that you can feel replenished anytime you want? I got a happy dance for that. That is what this week is all about. So I am super passionate about preventing burnout by ending burnout culture. Because after I myself burned out and had to pick up the shattered pieces of my life and figure out how to get on with things, I had to do all of that, and I didn't have a pathway. If any of you experienced burnout or teetered on the edge of it, flirting with all of the warning signs, like maybe you get the warning signs from your work, oh, signs of burnout, and you're like, check, 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 but you don't feel like you can do anything about it. I can tell you that it felt hopeless because I needed to work. I got to have income, and I needed to parent because I don't want to give my kids away. But I also needed space to heal, and that seemed pretty much impossible. So I did what we all do. I turned to the internet. I read all of the burnout articles I could get my hands on, all of the self-care and self-help literature I could find. And what I came up with over and over again is diet, exercise, and sleep. Superfoods to fuel your day, and workout plans, and yoga, and move your body movements. But I remember where I was when I was looking at these solutions, and I was like, all I could do was just get up in the morning and get through my day, not yell at the kids too much. And cookies were pretty much the only joy. Like, I needed them. Salad was not something I could swallow at that time. And exercise, really? I kept small humans alive all day. There was no way I was going to muster up the energy for anything more. And sleep. Get more sleep, they say. Yeah, no kidding. You think I don't want that? How many of you can just go to bed earlier? Maybe wake up later, maybe lounge in bed for a while. How many of you have your sleep interrupted by kids or racing thoughts or panic attacks? Like, when was the last time you actually slept 8 hours, like all in one go, all in one day? Thanks, experts, for your tips. Super helpful. My kids would say, thanks, tips. Okay, so I'm not poo-pooing these things. In a perfect world, of course, we would have a personal chef to create healthy meals and a beautiful workout routine that would keep me motivated, and I could just go to bed when I'm tired and wake up when my body is naturally ready to. But that was not my reality. My reality was that I was lucky if I found a half-eaten bear paw stuck to the side of my seat in the car that I could eat for breakfast on my way to work. Honestly. And if that was my reality, where I had time for all of those things and I could just get more sleep, I wouldn't be Googling how to overcome burnout and what self-care even means in the first place. So I was frustrated. And in reading the articles, it just felt like another area of my life where I was failing. I am failing to take care of myself, which means I am failing at my ability to keep up with my busy life, be the good mom I want to be, and the coworker who's on top of all things, and the wife who still has energy for sex at the end of the day. So I had to find a different way. so that people like us, you and me, can refill our batteries while we are doing all of the things that we need to do in the day. I just wanted to be calm and happy, and a mom, and a wife, and a worker. I wanted to be calm and happy while being productive. Any of you feel that? Like, think about what it would be like to be calm and happy while also being successful in your life. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's start with calm. A lot of times when people come to me in my Bridge to Your Best Life program, many of them are on overdrive, mentally and physically overdrive. Like, they are talking a mile a minute and their minds are scattered because they are freaking out on the inside. Their nervous systems are on overdrive because they have been pushing through for so long. And that's actually an okay starting point, because if you let that go for too long, you eventually stop caring at all, because your nervous system is so depleted that you can't freak out anymore. And you become numb, and your recovery will be longer, but still possible, my friend, always still possible. So I designed a kind of mental physio, small repetitive exercises to soothe your overactive nervous system and start rewiring your brain as a first step towards building the emotional connections with yourself that will start to let joy back in. And I call it Mentio, physio for your mind. I'm going to show you these simple Mentio brain exercises that you can do anywhere, anytime, starting with just 5 seconds at a time. So now these benefit everyone, not just people in crisis. And it's a progression. So you can decide where you are, like in the progression of getting better, and pick the exercises that are best for you. And I have a guide to help you do this. I will drop the link in the homework thread this afternoon so you can click it, but it's also in your workbook too if you wanted to download the full Mentio guide for free. So today we are going to start at the beginning, the first phase of Mentio, which is the rest phase. So just like if you have a physical injury and we want to do tiny exercises that are going to facilitate healing. If you are stressed out and overwhelmed, you actually have a mental injury. And you need to be gentle and loving in your recovery. So the goal of this phase is to calm your overactive mind, to just take a little wedge and pry open a little space there. And then get your mind comfortable with having that small space there so that we can build on it later. So in our first exercise today, we are just going to focus all of our awareness on one thing for 5 whole seconds. And before we do that, I want you to think about a bicep curl. Okay, so you can just curl your little heart out all day long without much effort, or you can focus on flexing every muscle in your arm as you curl. See what I'm saying? We are rewiring your brain here. So when we're doing the Mentio exercises, we need to focus our entire brain muscle, all of our mind muscles on this exercise. So we're going to start by focusing on something you can see. Find something to look at. I am going to focus on this beautiful mermaid pen that I have. You can focus on the mermaid pen too if you want, or you can focus on anything around you. It doesn't matter what you choose. What matters is that you focus all of your being. Like you have laser scanners coming out of your eyes on that one thing that you have chosen for 5 seconds. Ready? Laser scanners on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Now, I worked with one person who was wound so tight that she could not get past 3 seconds without crying at first. And it took her weeks to try to get up to 5 seconds. So if this is easy for you, awesome, thumbs up. Try to go for longer than 5 seconds. Try to branch out to your other senses. Find something you can hear or smell or taste or feel and focus hard on that for 5 to 10 seconds at a time. So remember, these are physio exercises. They're designed to be short and they're designed to be repeated. So you need to do this multiple times a day with all of your focus on that. Okay, let's try one more in the rest category. This one combats your brain's intense desire to be doing something all the time. Why does your brain need to be doing something all the time? Anyone? The answer is always your old programming. If you are not doing something, what does your old programming tell you? You are selfish. You are lazy. If you are not doing something, you are not proving your worth. If you are not helping someone, they will stop loving you. Because old programming can be a real jerk. So we are going to start to build new pathways so your mind can start feeling comfortable with calm. Remember that our goal is to rewire our brain and soothe our nervous system. So in the next exercise, we're going to focus again on the same thing you chose for the first exercise. And you're just going to listen to my words. Okay, ready? Laser focusing, laser focusing. I am doing nothing. I am looking at this object and I am doing nothing. I am doing nothing. Okay, that's it. You did it. That's all you have to do to start calming your nervous system. Cool, right? Any of you find that easy? Is that easy for any of you? Was it hard for any of you? Did any emotions come up? Because sometimes, remember we talked about pushing our emotions in the pot and the laundry and all of that. And as soon as we release a little bit, one can pop up. Okay, let's do one more. For this one, we're going to stretch. You can stretch any part of your body that you choose. You can sit down, stretch your hands or your arms. You can stand up and really get into it. It's up to you. So pick your stretch and then close your eyes and focus all of your intention, intense focus on wherever that stretch is. So I'm going to stretch my back. I'm going to put all of my focus into my back there for 5 seconds. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. You just completed 3 different Mentio exercises. You are doing physio for your mind. You have started rewiring your brain. Can you believe it's that simple? It's that easy? 5 seconds at a time, 5 times a day? You have already started soothing your nervous system and getting your mind comfortable with being in a state of calm. Yay, you! So in your workbook, there is a space for you to write your favorite thing to focus on in your commitment to yourself to keep going with these activities. And I say commitment because this is work. I commit to pausing for these things throughout my day. This is what you're committing to. So let's think about that for a bit. Where can you take 5-second pauses to focus on what's around you? For me, an easy one is my first sip of coffee. I can take 5 seconds to focus on a cuddle from my kid. Like my kids are teenagers and they still hug me. So I can commit to being super present for that 5 seconds. I can pause throughout my day to look out the window and admire nature for 5 seconds. See if you can find at least 3 things in your day that will trigger a pause as your commitment to yourself to start filling your cup. So the key is to do these multiple times a day to start the rewiring process. Try doing it each time you send an email or each time there's a goal scored in your kid's soccer game or when you are driving. I love to look at the sky for this one, focus on a cloud, but I live like out in the country, so there's not a lot of traffic, so be careful with that one. You can do it when you're cooking dinner. So many sensations with cooking. You can focus on the smells or the heat or watching the bubbles pop up in your simmering sauce. You can do your Mentio when you're waiting in line for something, or when you're lying in bed. Whatever, it's 5 seconds. You got this. You can fit this in. And there's more examples in your Mentio booklet. And so go ahead and grab that and put the link in the homework thread, and it's in your workbook. Okay. So that is how we start bringing calm into our lives. But what about happy? We want to be calm and happy. So let me ask you something. Has your mind ever taken a small negative thing and blown it up into a huge thing? Put yep in the chat if you have ever walked around repeating inside your head like, oh, I'm so tired, or I'm so busy, I'm so busy. What about when you made a mistake? How long did you berate yourself for it? I know I'm still berating myself for mistakes I made, like stupid things that I did like 20 years ago. And I have been divorced from my first husband for almost 10 years, and I still wake up at night rehashing therapy sessions thinking, this is what I should have said. My mind just won't let it go. And this is called a negativity bias. It repeats the thoughts over and over again to grow that neural pathway and solidify the memory and achieve its primary objective, which is, anyone remember? Our mind's primary objective is to keep us safe. It doesn't care about happy. Evolution-wise, you can see how having a mind that pays close attention and keenly remembers the dangerous things, whether physical things or social things, could have been an advantage to survival way back when our brain was developing. But now, in today's society, we are constantly bombarded with messages that we are not good enough. With just social media alone, that our mind has an endless stream of danger and negativity to cling onto, and that is not serving us anymore. I believe that now it's the opposite. It's the people with a positivity bias who are going to thrive in today's society. And so our mind is kind of like a muscle. The more we use a neural pathway, the more it grows. It gets bigger and stronger, which for a brain means that it's easier to activate and it transmits faster. So we are strategically going to strengthen the neural pathway for positivity. It's probably underused right now. We're going to build our capacity to take in joy. We can do that. Okay, who's with me? Yes, yes, whoop, whoop. So just like regular physio starts to strengthen the muscles needed to support the injured area of your body, this is designed to strengthen the parts of the brain needed to support happiness. So this is the next phase of Mentio. And in order to be able to do this phase, you need to be able to have a positive feeling. Remember I was talking about numbness earlier? If you're in that stage, just stick with the rest exercises for now. And so when you have a positive feeling, all you have to do is grab it and consciously hold on to it for as long as possible. And this is going to require a little bit of imagination. We are harnessing the power of visualization today. So think about it. What gives you a positive feeling? Let's try imagining for a second. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you are watching your child play soccer and you see their cute little sweaty face and you get a little jolt of love for that weird little human that you created. And if you can mentally grab that little jolt, this little love jolt, and see if you can hold on to it. Bring your awareness to it, feel it, and maybe even grow it a little bit bigger, that feeling of love. Did that work for you? Did you get any feeling? Were you able to focus on it? Anybody get a little tingle? Take some practice, okay? But it works, okay? And that is it. All you have to do is cling to those positive emotions. Another 10-second exercise that you can do anywhere, anytime to rewire your brain. So let's brainstorm other moments where we can do this. If you think of one, put it in the chat. So let's go back to that first sip of coffee. I I love coffee. I can use that first sip as a sensory experience for the rest phase of Mentio, right? That was the first phase. I use this as an example. But if I pause for a second, I can get a spark of joy, which means that I am ready to progress to the second phase, which is growing my pathways for positivity. So I make sure to pause and let that spark happen. Just a moment of pause. I've got my coffee cup. Moment to savor. And when I do that, when I take that pause, I get a little spark of joy. This is an intentional thing. If we don't focus on it, we are not going to make any progress at all. So my kids even mock me for it. Oh, we can't leave for school yet because mom has to take her first sip of coffee. They might even stop me in my tracks and thank them. And I will thank them and make a big deal of taking that first sip, because this is a habit that I hope they will pick up. Stopping for a second to take in the joy. Any other ideas? Okay, so pets. Pets is a big one. Pets can actually be helpful for both calm and happy. And as a bonus, their calm nervous system will help regulate yours too. Isn't science cool? So with your pet, you can help calm your mind by focusing on the sensory experience, the warmth that you feel when you cuddle them, or the purring sound of the cat, or the sound of their breathing even. You can even like inhale the way they smell, as long as it's a good smell. And our pets can help us grow happiness, because often our pet brings a pleasant feeling. When they do something cute or they cuddle up to us, we're like, oh, that's awesome. Grab onto that feeling and focus all of your being into it, like that mental bicep curl. See if you can grow it and soak it up and bathe your body in it. Okay, that got cheesy really fast, but you hear what I'm saying, right? Any other ideas? Can't see all the chats at the same time. It's really hard. Okay, Carolyn's got ideas. Thank you, Carolyn. She says, a bite of dessert. The moment the warm water hits you in the shower. Beautiful. The coolness of a sip of water after a walk. Yeah, that cool, fresh water when you're all hot. Absolutely. Susan says, taking a moment to wash my cold hands in hot water. Yes, I let my body relax as the warm water runs over my wrists. Beautiful. You are already doing it. And I challenge you to notice that relaxing, notice the warmth. See if you can get a positive feeling from it and grow it. Beautiful. Okay. So you're already starting to do this, but the next trick is to create a positive feeling. And we're going to do this using our imagination again. So, for example, while you are at work and you're dealing with all of the things that are going on, you may not have a positive feeling that's happening for you right now. But you can still pause and create a feeling. So one of the things that works for me is I can picture my child's like angelic face as they are sleeping. I can picture poking my head into their room and seeing their just perfect little form, tiny little thing in the bed. And when I picture that, I get a positive feeling. I get a little bubble of love, and I can grab that feeling. I can mentally grab it, and I can see if I can grow it, feel it, sink into it. Okay, so another idea to create a positive feeling, you can anticipate something that you are looking forward to, like a visit with a friend or an outing you are planning. Or you can create a completely fictional picture in your mind. Any of you seen Happy Gilmore? Okay, just go to your happy place. You can picture a beach with the warm sun and a hammock and somebody bringing you drinks, whatever makes you happy. The trick is to focus all of your attention on it and see how big you can grow it. and how long you can sustain it. Wow, that sounds dirty. Okay, moving on. Because we are not just trying to create a positive feeling. I mean, it's nice and all, but what we're really doing is building and strengthening neural pathways. We are making major transformations here. So this is something that needs to be intentional, and it needs to have all of our focus. So there's a spot in your workbook for you to write a list of things that give you a happy feeling. And when I started this journey, I was so depleted that I could barely access joy at all. And the one thing I could count on to give me a positive feeling was that looking at my children sleeping. That gave me a burst of love so that I could practice grabbing it and growing it. And the great thing is that once this neural pathway starts being activated regularly, it becomes so much easier to notice the joy and take it in, because we have a new, beautiful, stronger neural pathway for positivity. So do you remember our impossible pie from day one? This is the pie chart that represents our day and the chunks of time for things that we do in the day, all in our pie chart. And we know that we do not have any room for any extra pieces of pie. But over the course of this week, we have poked some holes into our existing pieces of pie. We created a space by making new programs that align with our true selves and by honoring our emotions so that we don't have to waste energy carrying them around. And also by taking action in accordance with our values, which we learned on day 2. And we hold these spaces, we hold them open by creating boundaries that align with our values. We can change our shoulds to coulds and take back our power to choose. We choose where we are going to put our energy, and it's not going to be falling back on old patterns and just throwing all of the mud back in the hole. We're not doing that. Instead, we are going to choose to fill these spaces with activities that build new neural pathways to bring calm and happiness into our lives, 5 seconds at a time. Okay, so let's see what that looks like in real life. So one of your pieces of pie, one of the chunks of your day, might be commuting to and from work. You don't have a choice there. You have to get to work. But you do get to choose how you get to work, and you get to choose what you do within your commute. You can choose to listen to music or a podcast that lights you up. You can choose to read a smutty romance novel. You can choose to keep snacks in your car. Cheetos are my favorite. And you can choose to do your Mentio exercises during your commute to increase your mind's capacity for calm and happiness. You have the power to choose. So this is what it looks like. I live rural, so I have to drive to work. I pull out of my driveway and I switch on my music, and a great song comes on and I sing along. And I consciously look for that glimmer of happiness, and I grow it as I'm singing. And then as I'm driving, I take the time to notice the beautiful sky. It's usually a sunrise as I am leaving. So I can just, look at the pretty colors and take those in for 5 seconds. One breath in and one breath out, it's usually 5 seconds. So it's like, and I keep driving. I notice the trees and how they change with the seasons. And I really focus on them for that whole breath in and whole breath out. And when I consciously think about how wonderful it is to have this glorious time to myself in my car, I get a glimmer of happiness that I can hold on to and I can grow. I do so much Mentio in my commute to work. And this is a huge change from my pre-burnout self. Any of you who knew me back then, my pre-burnout self would have been having a very different internal dialogue. It would have been like something like, oh crap, I'm late. Okay, good. The kids smushed a Pop-Tart into the carpet in my car. Great. Okay. Oh my God, I have so much to do when I get to work. Okay, the kids have soccer tonight. Okay, what am I going to do for dinner? Oh my God, this guy is driving so slow. What a freaking idiot. And by the time I got to work, I was wound up so tight and so frustrated already. And I carried that tension with me throughout my day and into my evening. And so I was exhausted. At the end of the day, I was ready to flop into bed, but this tension kept me from sleeping. And it made me snappy at my kids and my husband. And it made me depend on wine to get any relaxation at all. So the cheesy me is much happier. And if I have kids in the car, I make sure to do this out loud because I want to model for them the habits that are going to help them live their best lives. I do not want them to become the angry, desperate, road rage version of me that I was modeling before. I want them to see from my example how someone can turn their life and their perspective around and choose to be happy. I used to hear that phrase all the time, like happiness is a choice, choose happiness. And I was thinking, okay, sure. Yeah, that may be a choice for others, but not for me, not in my circumstances. I didn't believe it was possible for me, and I didn't really know what it meant to choose happy. I thought it would be easy to choose happy if my life was like on a beach all of the time, but that wasn't my reality. But that's not what it means. I was wrong. Having these tools, these tiny Mentio exercises that I can do with only 5 seconds, each time I choose to do them, I am choosing happiness. I am choosing calm and balance. Working on myself has made me a better mom, and I am so proud to be that role model for my kids. So you can do the same thing with every other piece of your pie, every other sliver of your day. During work, you can do your calming Mentio. You can slow down and actually taste your lunch. Focus your 5 seconds on the flavors and textures as you eat. After you send every email, you can take 5 seconds to focus on like that drawing that your kid made you that you've got pinned to your cubicle wall. And just breathe, 5 seconds, breath in, breath out, focusing on that picture. Make calming your mind part of your regular habits, and very quickly your mind will become less resistant to it, and you will find you will be able to rest more. You will go to sleep easier and stay asleep because your nervous system is calmer. You will find joy in things that you never used to, like doing the dishes. I'm just like you, Susan, because I've been able to focus on the pleasant sensation of that warm water and maybe the nice smell of the dish soap, because maybe even I took 5 seconds to revel in the satisfaction of the clean kitchen. This thing that used to be a chore, that used to empty my cup, can become moments that I can cherish and use it to add and lots of drips, little drips, 5 seconds at a time into my cup so that I can feel full. So for a long time, I lived for vacation. 2 whole weeks that were supposed to magically coat me in replenishment and solve all of my problems. And I am a natural optimist. So I thought if I just find the perfect vacation formula, the perfect cool thing to do or place to see, then it would work. And I would feel replenished and happy and return to work ready to tackle anything for an entire year until my next vacation. And I was always disappointed, because no matter how awesome my vacation was, I would return to exactly the same place I was when I left, overworked and stressed out. And it's funny that I continue to hear all of the time, you need a vacation. Like we don't have any other answers or any other solutions to feeling overworked and stressed out. Just take a vacation. That's going to solve everything. Actually, it's not funny at all. It's completely depressing, because when that doesn't work, When the only solution that we have doesn't do it, people are left feeling that they need to either win the lottery or wait until retirement to be happy. Anyone relate to that? So instead of looking for a magical solution like a vacation or the winning lottery ticket, we need to do the work, the tough inner work that lets you systematically break down the beliefs that are keeping you stuck so that you can create new programs that serve you now as a freaking adult, so that you can live your best life now and not wait for retirement and not wait until the kids move out. So what would your life be like if you could be happy now? It'd be pretty amazing, right? But how do you do that? How do you tackle all of the old programming so that you can redefine how you want to live your life? What if you had a simple process to follow that will shift your body away from running on old programming, where you can let go of your mind BS and bring yourself closer and closer to that true self so that you can live in alignment, in balance, so that you can feel confident in your decisions because you know your decision is exactly aligned with your personal values. You can feel like you're fulfilling your purpose because you are so connected to what matters most to you, and your actions consistently align with that. When you live connected to yourself, you can put yourself first without guilt because you know that filling your own cup means lots of overflow for the people you love. So they get the best of you, so that you are more productive than you ever thought possible, all because you put yourself first. And as you take this journey and you do the work, the shift happens without even realizing it, like watching your kids grow. Suddenly you realize that the anxiety has melted away and you're a heck of a lot happier and calmer, and that your relationships are better because you are better. You are more open to taking in the love around you and more loving in return. Like a weight has melted off of you and your body can relax and the tension headaches disappear and you find that you can breathe again, like really breathe. And you are suddenly aware of the freshness of that new air. And you are able to take it in ways that you just didn't before. So my transformation journey took years, many lonely years, as I plowed through the self-help books and took courses on different philosophies and even some neuroscience courses so that I could figure out how to get myself better. Years, so many hours. It should not take us that much time and effort just to start living how we were meant to live in the first place. So I set out to create a pathway to fast track into a life of fulfillment. And I realized that in order to make the fastest progress, we need two concurrent streams of learning. One, to bust through your mind BS, tear down those old programs and build new ones. And a second stream to reset your nervous system so that you can open up to joy and actually make the changes that you are working so hard for. A stream to link your mind, body, and soul. And so I have combined these two streams and created a 5-step process to fast track people to fulfillment. The fulfillment that they have so desperately been seeking, and so that they can find happiness that they deserve. And I call this fast track the bridge to your best life. And today, right now, I'm opening it up for enrollment. Starting September 7th, Thursday, September 7th, that's 2 weeks from today, I will guide a group of brave warriors just like you who showed up for yourselves this week through my fast track. So that by the end of this year, you will be feeling like Jackie. You'll be feeling like Jackie was when her husband noticed that she was different and lighter and happier. And that's just the halfway point. This program takes 6 months to really bust through that programming and create new neural pathways that will lead you straight into your personal definition of your best life. So that means by March, you will be experiencing what James experienced, learning how to believe in himself and believing, like truly believing at his core that he is capable and worthy of all of the good things in life. And that life is not meant to be so hard. It doesn't have to be. You get to choose. And because you have worked so hard this week and proven to yourself and everyone here that you are dedicated to changing your life, I'm offering a bonus to the first 10 people who enroll this week. I'm going to give you a free power session where we're going to develop a personalized Mentio strategy to supercharge your replenishing activities. In this power session, you are going to uncover the Mentio activities that will be most powerful, most effective for you based on your personal old programming. And we're going to put it all together in an action plan that you can start implementing immediately to get your cup full, your nervous system settled, and your energy back. So now I'm going to be honest and say that the Bridge to Your Best Life is not for everyone. Okay, it's like going to the gym. You can hire a personal trainer, but you really have to want the transformation. You have to be dedicated to putting in the work in order to see the results. This is not a vacation, but it's a lot like this week. And so if you have found this week useful and you want to explore what it might look like to keep going with this transformation, I'd love to get on a call with you and hear a little bit more about your situation, so that we can see if this program might be a good fit for you at this time in your life right now. And so this is a heart-to-heart call where we explore your unique situation and see if it's a good time to get started on this journey. You can ask all of your questions and get all of the info you need, and there will never, ever be any pressure on you because this is your journey, and I honor that. So you can find a link in your you can find the book a call link in your dashboard in the many emails that you have been receiving this week. I'm also going to put it in the header of the group, so you can reach out to me directly if you want the link, or you can access the link from any of those resources. So one of the main questions that I get is, how much time will this take? I am busy, you know. Remember the pie, Christina? Yeah, I know, hon. I am you, or at least I was you a few years ago. So what you can expect is one video plus one Mentio exercise per week for 6 months. Those are the two streams, the Mind BS and the Mind Body Soul. I make sure the videos are super to the point and last only about 15 minutes each, and you'll have about 15 minutes of homework, personal reflection with each video. So that's 30 minutes per week, or one lunch break per week. Or if you find yourself with some extra time, you can bang out several videos. It's completely up to you how you want to do it. They're available for you whenever you want to do it. And then we're going to meet for an hour by Zoom every second week. So if you think of the 2 videos and 1 meeting in each 2-week period, it averages out to about an hour a week. And if that seems a lot to you, I'm going to ask you how many hours you think that you play on your phone or watch TV in a week, and whether that is moving you forward. So this week you dedicated 5 hours to these new skills. That would be 10 weeks of videos plus homework. You can totally do this and start transforming your life right now. With the videos available on demand, you can fit them into your schedule anytime that works for you. So tomorrow I am laying it all out, the full roadmap for how you can systematically shed your old programming, find your purpose by figuring out what really matters to you, and fast track into the life that you were meant to live, your best life. A life that you have worked so damn hard for, but just always seems a little bit out of reach. And then you can teach your kids how to do it too. You can show them what it looks like, how to live a blissful existence, and how to balance being busy with living in alignment with your true self. So your homework today is to try out a Mentio exercise and post what you focused on for your 5 seconds in the homework thread. Was it a shiny pen? Was it something outside of your window? Or maybe your pretty manicure? Or maybe you chose a different sensory, like smelling that nice hand lotion that you got, or feeling the warmth of the sun or the caress of the wind. It's completely up to you what you focus on for 5 seconds, as long as you do it with an intention. So let us know in the homework thread so we can all be inspired by what you chose to focus on, and we can add that to our lives. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow as I lay it all out for you, the ultimate blueprint for living your best life so that you can get your mojo back. See you tomorrow.